Welcome to the United Kingdom, a land where ancient castles stand beside glass skyscrapers, where royal traditions meet modern innovation, and where the voices of many cultures echo across bustling streets and quiet countryside lanes. In 2025, the UK is not only a historic nation, but also a dynamic society that continues to shape global culture, politics, and lifestyle. For centuries, the UK has been a center of power, creativity, and discovery. From Shakespeare's plays to the Beatles' songs, from the Industrial Revolution to the digital age, this island nation has repeatedly influenced the course of world history. Yet beyond its iconic images, London's Big Ben, red buses, double-decker trains, and the royal guards at Buckingham Palace, lies a living, breathing country full of contrasts. What does everyday life here really look like? Is it the energy of London's financial district, the warmth of a Welsh village pub, or the timeless beauty of Scotland's Highlands? Is it the multicultural vibrancy of modern Britain, or the ancient traditions that continue to shape national identity? In this documentary, we'll explore the many sides of the UK in 2025. We'll start in London, a capital that embodies both history and modernity. We'll revisit the country's landmarks and traditions that still inspire pride around the world. We'll travel through England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, uncovering the unique diversity that makes up the United Kingdom. Along the way, we'll discover British cuisine, the pub culture, and the country's famous love of tea. We'll experience the natural beauty of its lakes, hills, and rugged coastlines, and we'll take a close look at how people really live today. The cost of living, daily routines, and the balance between work, family, and leisure. This is not just a documentary about monuments and history, it is a story of people, resilient, creative, and ever-changing. The UK of 2025 is proud of its past, but it is also writing a new chapter every day. This is life in the United Kingdom. London is more than just a capital city. It is the beating heart of the United Kingdom and one of the most influential cities in the world. Home to nearly 9 million people and millions more commuters and visitors, London embodies both the grandeur of Britain's history and the restless energy of its present. To live in London in 2025 is to experience constant movement, the hum of the underground, the chatter of markets, the rush of business, and the quiet moments along the Thames. The River Thames has defined London for centuries. Once the artery of an empire, it still flows through the city as a symbol of connection and continuity. Along its banks rise landmarks both ancient and modern: the medieval Tower of London, the Gothic Houses of Parliament, and the futuristic Shard skyscraper. This contrast is London itself. Old traditions standing side by side with innovation. London in 2025 is one of the most multicultural cities on Earth. Walk down Oxford Street or ride the tube, and you'll hear dozens of languages. Nearly 40% of Londoners were born outside the UK, bringing food, music, and traditions that enrich daily life. This diversity makes the city unique, turning it into a global mosaic where every neighborhood feels like a world of its own. For most Londoners, the day begins with the commute. The Underground, affectionately called the Tube, carries millions each morning through its labyrinth of tunnels. Trains and buses hum with people scrolling phones, sipping coffee, or reading newspapers. Cycling has also surged, with bike lanes and shared rental bikes transforming the city's pace. Work hours vary widely. The city's financial district, the Square Mile, and Canary Wharf buzz with bankers, lawyers, and tech professionals in sharp suits. Meanwhile, neighborhoods like Shoreditch thrive on startups, creatives, and freelancers working from cafes and co-working spaces. For many, London life is defined by long work days balanced by vibrant social evenings. Lunchtime is diverse and global. A Londoner may grab sushi near Soho, a curry in Brick Lane, or a sandwich from Pret-a-Manger. Food markets like Borough Market offer fresh bread, artisan cheese, and international street food, reflecting the city's mix of cultures. Evenings bring the city alive. Londoners often stop at pubs on their way home. More than just drinking spots, pubs are community hubs where people gather, watch football, or share conversation. Later in the evening, the city's theaters, music venues, and clubs light up. From the West End's musicals to underground electronic nights in converted warehouses, London's nightlife is as varied as its people. London is not one city but many, stitched together by history and culture. The political heart, home to Parliament, Big Ben, and Downing Street. Alternative and edgy, known for its markets, music venues, and vibrant youth culture. Elegant and wealthy, lined with museums, luxury shops, and embassies. Creative and youthful, filled with street art, independent cafes, and tech startups. Cultural hotspot with the Tate Modern, National Theatre, and Riverside festivals. Each neighborhood tells a story, from the aristocratic elegance of Mayfair to the working-class pride of East London. Together, they create a patchwork of lifestyles that give London its depth. London is a cultural powerhouse. The British Museum, housing treasures from across the globe, welcomes millions of visitors annually. The National Gallery, Tate Modern, and Victoria and Albert Museum showcase centuries of art and design. And many of these institutions are free, reflecting Britain's belief that culture should be accessible to all. Theatre thrives in London. The West End rivals Broadway, with dazzling musicals and plays attracting global audiences. Shakespeare's legacy lives on at the reconstructed Globe Theatre, where timeless works are performed under open skies. Beyond the stage, Wendy McKimo Trine on the E-Change, London's music scene remains legendary. From classical performances at the Royal Albert Hall to gritty gigs in Camden pubs, sports are equally central. London is home to some of the world's most famous football clubs: Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, and West Ham, each with fiercely loyal fans. Match days bring the city to life, uniting and dividing communities with passion. Gone are the days when British cuisine was dismissed as bland. London's food scene in 2025 is among the best in the world. Traditional dishes, fish and chips, Sunday roasts, and full English breakfasts remain staples. Yet the city's true strength lies in its diversity. Indian curry houses, Turkish kebab shops, Caribbean jerk stalls, and Michelin-starred French and Japanese restaurants all coexist. Food festivals celebrate global flavors, while street food markets bring affordable, inventive dishes to hungry crowds. The ritual of afternoon tea with scones, clotted cream, and delicate sandwiches continues as both tradition and tourist favorite. Life in London is exhilarating, but not without challenges. The cost of living is high, with rent and transport among Europe's most expensive. Long commutes and crowded streets test patience. Yet Londoners endure, often with humor and resilience, qualities woven into the city's identity. At the same time, London is a hub of opportunity. It attracts dreamers, students, entrepreneurs, and artists from around the world. Its energy is contagious, driven by ambition and creativity. Whether you are attending a lecture at the London School of Economics, coding at a startup hub in Shoreditch, or rehearsing at a theatre in Soho, London offers endless possibilities. What makes London remarkable is not just its monuments or economy, but its people. Londoners are resilient, diverse, and endlessly adaptive. They live fast-paced lives, but still pause for a chat at the pub, a walk in Hyde Park, or a quiet ride along the Thames. In 2025, London remains both ancient and new, British and global, traditional and futuristic. It is a city that never stops reinventing itself, yet never forgets where it came from. To live in London is to feel the pulse of the world in one place, chaotic inspiring, challenging, and unforgettable. Historic landmarks, culture, and traditions. The United Kingdom is often described as a living museum, a place where centuries of history are not confined to books or archives, but woven into streets, castles, cathedrals, and cultural traditions that remain alive in 2025. From royal pageantry to Shakespearean theatre, from medieval towers to national rituals, the UK's landmarks and traditions embody its enduring influence on the world. London alone holds some of the world's most iconic sites. Built nearly 1,000 years ago, the fortress has been a royal palace, prison, and treasury. Today, it houses the crown. Jewels, symbols of monarchy and continuity. Yeoman warders, the beefeaters, still guard the site, keeping medieval tradition alive. Coronation Church of English monarchs for nearly a millennium. It is both a place of worship and a resting place for kings, queens, poets, and scientists. Every coronation, from William the Conqueror to King Charles III, has unfolded here. Seat of the UK Parliament, this Gothic masterpiece represents democracy in action. Its clock tower, still affectionately called Big Ben, remains one of the world's most photographed landmarks. The monarch's London residence, it continues to symbolize royal life. The changing of the guard, performed daily, draws crowds who witness military precision blended with royal tradition. These landmarks remind Londoners and visitors alike that power, pageantry, and tradition remain central to British identity. Beyond London, historic treasures stretch across the four nations. Perched dramatically on a volcanic rock, this fortress dominates the skyline. It holds Scotland's crown jewels and symbolizes centuries of resilience. The world's oldest and largest inhabited castle, it is both a royal residence and a working fortress. Its chapel hosted royal weddings watched worldwide. One of Europe's grandest Gothic cathedrals, its stained glass windows tell biblical stories in dazzling color. A blend of Roman foundations, medieval towers, and Victorian fantasy, reflecting Wales's layered history. Though a natural wonder of basalt columns, it is tied to Irish myth, said to be built by the giant Finn McCool. Every region offers landmarks that reflect both national pride and shared heritage. Few nations hold on to royal ceremony as the UK does. The monarchy, while modernized, continues traditions that fascinate the world. Coronations, royal weddings, and jubilees unite the country in spectacle. The Trooping the Colour Parade marks the monarch's official birthday each June, while Remembrance Sunday honors those lost in war. Even in 2025, these events remain central to British identity. Crowds still gather at the Mall for balcony appearances, and royal processions still mix medieval ritual with modern global attention. For many, these ceremonies represent continuity in an uncertain world. Britain's cultural legacy is equally influential. William Shakespeare remains the most performed playwright globally. His works, written 400 years ago, still resonate with themes of power, love, ambition, and tragedy. In Stratford-upon-Avon and London's Globe Theatre, his words continue to bring audiences together. The UK's influence on literature is immense, from the Bronte sisters and Charles Dickens to J.K. Rowling and contemporary novelists. British authors have shaped global imagination, and in 2025, British literature festivals thrive in cities like Edinburgh and Hay-on-Wye. The performing arts are no less vibrant. The BBC Proms, one of the world's largest classical music festivals, fills the Royal Albert Hall each summer. The West End rivals Broadway with musicals, dramas, and experimental theater. Music, too, remains a cultural export. From the Beatles and Queen to Adele and Ed Sheeran, British sounds continue to top charts worldwide. Not all traditions are grand ceremonies. Many are woven into daily life. Introduced in the 19th century, the ritual of tea with scones, cream, and sandwiches is still cherished, whether in luxury hotels or home kitchens. Public houses are more than drinking spots. They are social anchors. Locals gather for conversation, darts, quiz nights, and Sunday roasts. Match day is a ritual, whether at Wembley or in small-town stadiums. Fans sing anthems, wear scarves, and create an atmosphere unmatched elsewhere. Each November, red poppies bloom on lapels, symbolizing sacrifice and remembrance. These traditions may seem ordinary, but carry deep cultural meaning, connecting people across generations. Each nation within the UK celebrates its own traditions. Guy Fawkes Night, marked by fireworks and bonfires every 5th of November. Hogmanay, a New Year celebration with fireworks, music, and the tradition of first footing. St. David's Day with parades, daffodils, and traditional Welsh songs. St. Patrick's Day, blending religious observance with global celebration of Irish identity. These festivals reinforce national pride while contributing to the UK's shared cultural richness. In a rapidly changing world, Britain's landmarks and traditions anchor its identity. Tourists may flock to castles and ceremonies, but for locals, these are not performances. They are living parts of their culture. The UK preserves history, not in glass cases, but in rituals, buildings, and customs still in use. This is why, in 2025, the UK continues to captivate the world. Its ability to keep tradition alive while embracing modern life. Diversity across the nations: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The United Kingdom is not a single identity, but a tapestry of 4 distinct nations: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Each carries its own history, traditions, languages, and cultural pride. Together, they form a union that has shaped world history while continually negotiating its internal diversity. In 2025, this diversity is both a strength and a defining feature of life in the UK. England is the largest and most populous nation of the UK, home to London, as well as vast countryside landscapes, universities, and historic towns. Oxford and Cambridge are symbols of intellectual tradition, producing thinkers, scientists, and leaders who shaped global history. The student life in these ancient universities reflects centuries of continuity. Countryside villages in counties like Cotswolds and Kent preserve a timeless charm: thatched cottages, local pubs, and rolling green fields. Here, life feels slower, rooted in community and tradition. Northern England has its own identity, with cities like Manchester, Liverpool, and Newcastle proud of their industrial heritage, football culture, and distinctive accents. Music, too, thrives here. From the Beatles' Liverpool roots to Manchester's vibrant indie scene. England represents both the grandeur of the capital and the quiet rhythms of rural life, making it the backbone of the UK. Scotland is a nation of rugged landscapes and fierce pride. Its culture is distinct, its traditions deeply cherished. Edinburgh, the capital, combines history with creativity. The Edinburgh Festival Fringe, the world's largest arts festival, transforms the city into a stage every August, drawing artists and audiences from across the globe. The Highlands are Scotland's soul, vast, untamed, and breathtaking. Here, legends of clans, battles, and mythical creatures like Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster, shape cultural memory. The landscape itself, with its lochs and mountains, is central to Scottish identity. Bagpipes, kilts, and Highland games remain strong symbols. Whiskey distilleries connect Scotland to global markets while preserving craft rooted in centuries of expertise. In 2025, debates over independence continue to spark political discourse. But regardless of politics, Scotland's cultural pride is unwavering. Wales, though smaller in size, carries a cultural richness that belies its geography. The Welsh language, Tymreg, is central to identity. Road signs, schools, and media keep it alive, reflecting resilience against centuries of Anglicization. Wales is known as the land of castles, with more per square mile than any country in the world. Cardiff Castle and Caernarfon Castle tell stories of medieval struggles and royal pageantry. Known as the Land of Song, Wales boasts strong choral traditions and modern artists alike. Rugby stadiums echo with powerful national anthems sung in unison. From the mountains of Snowdonia to the Pembrokeshire coast, Wales offers some of the UK's most striking natural scenery, deeply tied to national pride. Wales balances modern life with strong cultural traditions, making it a vital part of the UK's diversity. Northern Ireland carries a complex identity shaped by conflict, resilience, and renewal. Once marked by political strife, is now a city of innovation and culture. Murals still tell the story of the Troubles, but new generations focus on art, technology, and tourism. This UNESCO World Heritage Site of basalt columns is both a natural wonder and a symbol of myth and mystery. It reflects Ireland's unique blend of nature and folklore. Irish folk music, dancing, and storytelling remain vibrant, passed down through generations. Festivals celebrate resilience and cultural pride. Catholic and Protestant communities still maintain distinct traditions, but there is growing emphasis on unity and peace, especially among younger generations. Northern Ireland's story is one of complexity, but in 2025, it also represents hope, a reminder of how cultures can move from division toward coexistence. The four nations of the UK each assert their individuality, yet they remain tied by shared history, economy, and culture. The monarchy, parliament, and global presence unify them, while sports, music, and festivals often bridge differences. The UK's diversity is its strength. In a world where nationalism often divides, the coexistence of English, Scottish, Welsh, and Irish traditions under one union offers a lesson in both resilience and compromise. For visitors, this diversity is endlessly fascinating. For locals, it is the reality of identity in 2025. To travel across the UK is to step into different worlds within a single country. The accents shift, the food changes, and the traditions vary, but the pride of place remains constant. Whether it's the roar of a Scottish bagpipe, the warmth of a Welsh choir, the chatter in a Yorkshire pub, or the music of a Belfast street festival, each part of the UK adds a note to a national symphony. This is what makes the UK extraordinary. It is not one voice, but many, harmonizing and sometimes clashing, but always creating something uniquely British. British food, pubs, and social lifestyle. Food and drink in the United Kingdom are more than daily sustenance. They are rituals, traditions, and social anchors that define life. From the comfort of a Sunday roast to the chatter of a local pub, British cuisine and lifestyle reflect centuries of history while embracing global flavors in 2025. Despite stereotypes of blandness, British food is hearty, comforting, and steeped in tradition. Fish and chips, golden fried fish with chunky chips, often wrapped in paper and eaten seaside, remains a national favorite. Its simplicity reflects Britain's maritime heritage. Sunday roast, served with roasted meat, potatoes, vegetables, gravy, and Yorkshire pudding, it is less a meal and more a family ritual. Pubs and households alike keep the tradition alive each weekend. Full English breakfast, eggs, bacon, sausage, beans, mushrooms, and toast. A meal that symbolizes indulgence and hospitality. It is still served in cafes across the UK, from roadside diners to London hotels. Shepherd's pie and cottage pie, comforting baked dishes with minced meat, vegetables, and mashed potatoes, staples of home cooking. Pies and pastries, Cornish pasties, steak and kidney pies, and sausage rolls fill bakery shelves, quick and filling meals for busy days. These dishes form the foundation of British cuisine, linking generations through flavor and memory. In 2025, British cuisine is also global cuisine. Immigration and multiculturalism have reshaped the nation's food identity. Indian curries, chicken tikka masala is often called Britain's true national dish. Curry houses, from Brick Lane in London to Glasgow, reflect South Asian influence. Caribbean flavors, jerk chicken, patties, and festivals celebrate the Caribbean diaspora, especially in London and Birmingham. Middle Eastern and Turkish cuisine, kebabs, falafel, and mezza are late-night staples in every city. Chinese and East Asian food, from Chinatown in London to noodle bars in Manchester, Asian flavors thrive. Modern fusion, British chefs reinterpret classics with global twists, blending tradition with innovation. This multicultural mix reflects the UK's openness, making its dining scene one of the most diverse in the world. No symbol is more British than a cup of tea. Introduced in the 17th century, tea became central to daily life and remains a ritual in 2025. Finger sandwiches, scones with clotted cream, and delicate cakes, served in hotels and tea rooms, represent elegance and tradition. In homes and offices, a simple cuppa brings comfort and conversation. Offering tea is a reflex of hospitality, a pause in busy days. Tea remains more than a drink. It is an act of connection, a cultural glue that unites generations and communities. If tea is the household ritual, the pub is the public ritual. Pubs, or public houses, have been community centers for centuries. In 2025, they remain central to British life. Locals gather not just to drink, but to connect, share stories, and mark milestones. From fish and chips to gastropub innovations, pubs are now culinary destinations as well. Pub quizzes, darts, and karaoke nights keep traditions alive. Football matches, rugby games, and even cricket tests are broadcast live, turning pubs into theaters of passion. For many, the pub is a home away from home, a place where strangers become friends. The British calendar is full of events that reflect its social traditions. Europe's largest street festival, celebrating Caribbean culture with music, dance, and food. A global music pilgrimage, symbolizing the UK's role as a cultural trendsetter. More than tennis, it is strawberries and cream, cues, and a celebration of British summer. Fireworks and bonfires every November 5th, a tradition born from history but embraced as social festivity. These festivals blend tradition, creativity, and fun, embodying Britain's lively social fabric. No description of British lifestyle is complete without football. The Premier League is the most watched sports league on earth, and match days are communal rituals. Fans gather in stadiums and pubs, wearing team scarves, singing anthems, and experiencing highs and lows together. Football unites and divides, but above all, it defines. Modern British lifestyle balances tradition with change. Workdays remain long in cities, but weekends and evenings are devoted to relaxation. Parks, countryside escapes, and pub gardens reflect the national love for outdoor leisure. The rise of remote work since the pandemic has reshaped routines, with many balancing city commutes with home offices. Yet, no matter the shifts, the centrality of food, tea, and pubs remains unchanged. What ties all these elements together is a sense of shared identity. Whether sipping tea at home, gathering for a Sunday roast, dancing at a festival, or cheering at a football match, the British way of life is social, ritualistic, and steeped in tradition. In 2025, amid globalization and digital transformation, these cultural anchors keep Britain grounded. They remind both locals and visitors that the UK is not just a place of history and innovation, but also of community, flavor, and shared experience. Though the United Kingdom is known worldwide for London's skyline and historic monuments, its true soul is often found in its landscapes. From Scotland's rugged highlands to England's green countryside, from Wales's dramatic peaks to Northern Ireland's coastal wonders, the UK's natural beauty is as diverse as its cultures. In 2025, with growing emphasis on sustainability and outdoor lifestyles, these landscapes have become not just tourist attractions, but essential parts of British life. The Scottish Highlands remain one of Europe's last great wildernesses. Stretching from Inverness to the far north and west, the Highlands are a vast expanse of lochs, glens, and mountains. Loch Ness. Famous for its mythical monster, this deep freshwater loch represents Scotland's blend of mystery and majesty. Visitors come for the legend but stay for the views, where misty waters reflect surrounding hills. Isle of Skye. Known for its jagged peaks and fairy tale landscapes, Skye feels like stepping into another world. Its fairy pools, Quillen Mountains, and dramatic cliffs attract hikers and dreamers alike. Ben Nevis, the UK's highest mountain, drawing climbers and adventurers from across the world. Its slopes challenge the daring, while its summit rewards with breathtaking panoramas. The Highlands are not only scenic, but cultural, tied to centuries of clan history, Gaelic traditions, and folklore. To walk here is to feel Scotland's untamed spirit. England's Lake District in Cumbria has long inspired poets and painters. William Wordsworth, Samuel Coleridge, and Beatrix Potter all drew from its tranquil lakes and rolling hills. Windermere and Ullswater, crystal clear water surrounded by green hills, popular for boating, hiking, and peaceful retreats. Poetic legacy, Wordsworth's daffodils and Lake District verses continue to attract literary pilgrims. National Park, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Lake District balances conservation with tourism, offering trails, cycling paths, and eco-lodges. Beyond the Lake District, England's countryside is equally enchanting. The Cotswolds with honey-colored stone cottages, Kent's orchards, and Cornwall's coastal cliffs all reflect the charm of rural England. For many, these villages and landscapes symbolize an idyllic Britain where life is slower, rooted in tradition and community. Wales is compact but dramatic, combining rugged mountains with stunning coastlines. Snowdonia, Eryri. Dominated by Mount Snowdon, the highest peak in Wales, this region offers some of the UK's best hiking. Trails attract everyone from families to serious climbers. Pembrokeshire coast with golden beaches, sea cliffs, and wildlife. It is one of Europe's best coastal national parks. Dolphins, puffins, and seals thrive here. Brecon beacons, rolling hills, waterfalls, and dark skies make this region beloved by stargazers and outdoor enthusiasts. Wales's landscapes are also tied to identity. The Welsh language and folklore often celebrate mountains, rivers, and heroes tied to the land. Festivals and songs reflect a culture rooted in place. Northern Ireland's landscapes are among the most dramatic in the UK. Giant's Causeway, hexagonal basalt columns formed by ancient volcanic eruptions, yet linked to myths of giants, remain one of the UK's most striking natural wonders. Causeway Coastal Route, a scenic drive with cliffs, beaches, and castles overlooking the sea, popular for road trips. Mourne Mountains, rolling granite peaks that inspired C.S. Lewis's Narnia, blending beauty with mythology. Northern Ireland's landscapes mirror its cultural resilience, harsh yet beautiful, shaped by both nature and history. Beyond the mainland, the UK is ringed by thousands of islands and dramatic coastlines. Hebrides, Scotland, Remote, windswept, and culturally rich, with Gaelic traditions and stunning beaches. Orkney and Shetland, far northern isles with Viking heritage and bird life sanctuaries. Channel Islands and Isle of Wight. Warmer climates and seaside traditions reflect another side of Britain. The UK's coastline stretches nearly 12,500 kilometers, offering surfers, sailors, and walkers endless opportunities. Seaside resorts, from Brighton's piers to Blackpool's amusements, remain central to British culture. The UK's landscapes are not only admired, they are lived. In 2025, outdoor activities are part of daily life. Hiking and walking, national trails like the Pennine Way or Hadrian's Wall Path offer long-distance adventures. Cycling, dedicated routes, from London city paths to Highland trails, encourage eco-friendly travel. Gardening. Even in cities, Britons maintain gardens and allotments, reflecting a cultural love for nature. Seaside holidays. Families flock to Cornwall, Devon, and Norfolk for traditional summer escapes. Post-pandemic trends have strengthened appreciation for the outdoors, with more people seeking countryside homes and eco-tourism experiences. Nature is woven into British identity. The Highlands symbolize resilience. The Lake District represents creativity. Welsh mountains echo song and pride, and Irish coasts embody myth and strength. These landscapes are not just scenery, but stories, shaping culture, literature, and memory. Visitors may see beauty, locals see heritage. Together, they create a national character grounded in land and sea. To truly understand the United Kingdom in 2025, one must go beyond monuments and landscapes to examine the everyday realities of life. How much does it cost to live here? What rhythms shape daily routines? How do traditions balance with modern pressures? For millions of Britons and immigrants alike, life in the UK is a mix of opportunity, challenge, and cultural richness. Housing remains one of the UK's greatest challenges. London. Rents are among the highest in Europe. A small flat in central London can cost more than an entire house in northern England. This pushes many to live in outer boroughs or commute long distances. Regional cities. Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds, and Glasgow offer more affordable housing, attracting students, young professionals, and families seeking balance between cost and opportunity. Countryside. Villages and towns often provide lower costs and more space, but limited job opportunities can make them less accessible for younger generations. In 2025, rising property prices remain a central political issue, sparking debates on affordable housing and urban planning. Food. Groceries vary depending on region and lifestyle. Supermarkets like Tesco, Sainsbury's, and Aldi dominate, but local markets remain popular. Eating out can be expensive, though pubs and takeaway shops provide affordable options. Transport. The UK's transport system is extensive but costly. In London, Oyster cards and contactless payments make travel easy, yet monthly passes take up a significant share of income. Trains connect cities, but high fares often frustrate commuters. Budget airlines make European travel accessible, reflecting the UK's global connections. Utilities and internet. Costs are in line with European averages, though energy bills fluctuate with global prices. Internet speeds are high in cities, but patchier in rural areas. The UK remains a hub of opportunity. London is Europe's leading financial and business capital, attracting global firms and startups alike. Technology and creativity. Tech hubs in Manchester and London's Shoreditch, media industries in Glasgow and Cardiff, and creative sectors across the country attract younger professionals. Healthcare and education. Both are large employers, with the NHS, National Health Service, being one of the world's largest healthcare systems. Universities from Oxford and Cambridge to Edinburgh and Manchester shape global talent. Work culture can be intense, especially in London, but flexible arrangements and remote work, accelerated by the pandemic, have reshaped professional life in 2025. NHS. The UK's public healthcare system provides universal coverage. Though stretched by demand, it remains a point of national pride, offering free care at the point of use. Private healthcare. Many also opt for private options for faster appointments. Education. The UK boasts world-class universities, attracting international students. Public schools are free, though many families invest in private schools or tutoring. Education is highly valued, and academic competition remains strong. Family bonds remain central, though lifestyles vary. Urban families. In London and other big cities, families often juggle work with expensive childcare and long commutes. Countryside and small towns. Community ties are stronger with family gatherings, local sports, and church traditions playing a role. Multi-generational living. Rising costs have increased shared housing, with younger adults living longer with parents. Social life thrives in pubs, festivals, and sporting events. For many, weekends mean watching football, enjoying a Sunday roast, or escaping to the countryside. In 2025, the UK remains one of the most diverse societies in Europe. Immigration has shaped its economy and culture for decades. London. Nearly 40% of residents were born abroad, creating a global community. Regional impact. Immigrant communities enrich cities with restaurants, music, and traditions, making the UK's multiculturalism one of its greatest strengths. Challenges. Integration and housing remain debated topics, but overall, diversity is seen as a defining feature of modern British life. Britons work hard, but also value leisure. Holidays. While statutory paid leave is 28 days, many take holidays abroad thanks to budget airlines. Spain, Portugal, and Greece remain favorite destinations. Parks and outdoors, green spaces, from Hyde Park in London to regional national parks, provide daily escape. Walking, cycling, and seaside visits remain cultural staples. Sports and entertainment. Football, rugby, cricket, music festivals, and theater form part of everyday leisure. Streaming services and home entertainment balance modern digital habits. London. High housing, transport, and dining costs, but also highest salaries. Regional cities. Balanced cost versus income, attracting growing populations. Rural areas. Lower housing and food costs, but fewer job opportunities. For expatriates, the UK can be expensive, but cultural richness and opportunities often outweigh costs. For locals, managing finances is a daily challenge, but traditions and social networks provide resilience. Life in the UK today is neither simple nor easy, but it is rich. It is defined by contrasts, high costs, but high opportunities, fast-paced cities but slow countryside, global diversity but deep-rooted traditions. Britons navigate these realities with resilience, humor, and pride. They complain about train fares and weather, but celebrate football victories, gather for pub nights, and find joy in festivals and family meals. This balance between pressure and pleasure defines British life in 2025. It is not only about survival, but about savoring community, culture, and moments of connection. As our journey across the United Kingdom comes to an end, one truth shines clearly. This is not merely a country, but a living story. A story of resilience, creativity, and tradition that continues to inspire the world in 2025. The UK's global appeal begins with its heritage. Few nations can rival its collection of castles, cathedrals, and historic streets that carry centuries of memory. London's Tower, Westminster Abbey, and Edinburgh Castle are not relics, but living landmarks. They anchor identity in a world of change, offering continuity and a sense of belonging. Yet the UK's past is not a burden, it is a foundation. Shakespeare's words, Newton's discoveries, the Industrial Revolution, each shaped humanity. In 2025, this heritage remains a beacon, showing how creativity and courage can transform societies. What makes the UK truly captivating is its diversity. England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland each bring unique languages, traditions, and landscapes. Together, they form a mosaic that celebrates difference while sustaining unity. Walk through London, and you encounter the world. Indian curries, Caribbean carnivals, Middle Eastern markets, proof that modern Britain is proudly multicultural. This coexistence of traditions creates a richness few countries can match. From the Highlands to the Lake District, from Welsh peaks to Irish coasts, the UK's landscapes are breathtaking. They are not only tourist destinations, but sources of inspiration for poets, artists, and communities. In a fast-paced digital world, the UK's natural beauty offers something timeless, space to breathe, to reflect, to reconnect with nature. This harmony between modern life and ancient landscapes is part of its enduring magic. The rituals of daily life also captivate. A cup of tea shared in a kitchen, the laughter in a pub, the roar of fans on a Saturday afternoon. These are not spectacles for visitors, but lived realities that reveal the UK's soul. Festivals like Glastonbury, Notting Hill Carnival, and Hogmanay show the UK's creativity and passion for celebration. Food, once modest, now reflects global flavors, while preserving classics like fish and chips and Sunday roasts. These traditions, small and large, bind communities together. Despite its size, the UK continues to shape the world. Its universities attract international students. Its music and fashion set trends. The Premier League unites fans across continents. Literature, theater, and cinema reach millions worldwide. Even politics and diplomacy amplify the UK's global presence. In an interconnected age, Britain still punches above its weight, influencing debates on culture, technology, and identity. What perhaps captivates most is the resilience of the British people. Through wars, economic crises, and social changes, they have adapted while preserving humor and pride. The national character blends pragmatism with imagination, seriousness with wit. "Keep calm and carry on" may have begun as a wartime slogan, but it still captures something essential about British life. The idea of Britishness is not rigid. It evolves with immigration, politics, and generational change. Yet its core, respect for tradition, belief in fairness, love for community, and passion for creativity, remains strong. In 2025, what the UK offers is not just tourism, but perspective. It shows how a nation can be ancient and modern at once, deeply traditional yet globally diverse. It proves that identity can be both local and international. Visitors leave with more than photos. They carry experiences of warmth, humor, and belonging. The UK invites the world not only to admire but to participate, to sing at a pub, to cheer at a stadium, to walk through misty countryside trails. The United Kingdom captivates the world because it is both familiar and surprising. Its landmarks are famous, yet its charm lies in the everyday moments. A bus ride through London, a pint in a Welsh pub, a song echoing across Scottish hills, a story shared in Belfast. It captivates because it has given the world so much: literature, music, science, democracy, yet still remains humble, humorous, and human. And it captivates because it offers a way of life that balances tradition and progress, seriousness and joy, individuality and community. In 2025, the UK is not just a destination, but an experience. It is a reminder that history lives on, that diversity enriches, and that resilience inspires. This is why, even after centuries, the world still looks to the United Kingdom with admiration, affection, and fascination.